A sudden shift in the Israel-Hamas conflict grabs attention as Israel and its allies introduce cutting-edge fighter jets with stunning features. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's SpaceX causes a global stir by launching an unidentified flying object, challenging the United States government. This mysterious craft has everyone talking. What's its technology, and how could it impact the ongoing conflict? Could it even change the game? Dive in with us as we explore Elon Musk's unidentified flying object, a craft that seems to defy the laws of physics. Elon Musk. From school struggles to rocket ships and electric cars. Elon Musk, born on June 28, 1971, is an internationally famous businessman and investor. He's best known for his work with SpaceX, a company that builds rockets, and Tesla, a company that makes electric cars. Elon is also involved with many other tech and investment companies. He owns X Corporation, the company behind the social media platform X, which used to be called Twitter. He helped start the Boring Company, XAI, Neuralink, and OpenAI. As of August 2024, he is one of the richest people in the world, with a net worth of $247 billion, according to Forbes. Growing up, Elon attended several schools across South Africa. He attended Waterkloof House Preparatory School, Bryanston High School, and Pretoria Boys High School, where he graduated. Even though Elon was a smart kid, he didn't always get the best grades. For example, he got a 61 in Afrikaans, a language spoken in South Africa, and a B in math. Elon wanted to move to the United States, but he thought it would be easier to get there through Canada. His mother was born in Canada, so he applied for a Canadian passport. While waiting for his application, Elon went to the University of Pretoria in South Africa for 5 months. In June 1989, Elon finally made it to Canada. He went to live with a cousin in Saskatchewan, a province in Canada. During this time, he worked various jobs, like helping out on a farm and working in a lumber mill. In 1990, Elon started attending Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. After 2 years at Queen's, Elon transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League school in the United States. While there, he earned 2 degrees, one in physics and another in economics from the Wharton School. Even though Elon said he earned these degrees in 1995, the university didn't officially give them to him until 1997. To help pay for school, Elon threw big house parties and sold tickets to them. He also came up with a business idea for scanning books electronically, similar to what Google Books does today. In 1994, Elon had 2 internships in Silicon Valley, the heart of the tech world. One was at Pinnacle Research Institute, a company working on energy storage. The other was at Rocket Science Games, a startup making video games. In 1995, Elon was accepted into a program at Stanford University to study materials science, but he decided not to go. Instead, Elon wanted to be part of the internet boom, a time when the internet was growing quickly. He applied for a job at Netscape, a big company back then, but he never got a response. Even though things didn't go exactly as planned, Elon continued working on his big ideas, eventually becoming the successful businessman we know today. How Zip2 and X turned into million-dollar deals. In 1995, Elon Musk, his brother Kimball, and a friend named Greg Corey started a company called Zip2. Zip2 was an internet company that made city guides, which had maps, directions, and yellow pages. They sold these guides to newspapers. Musk worked late into the night, coding in a small rented office in Palo Alto. After a lot of hard work, Zip2 managed to land deals with big newspapers like the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. Musk wanted to be the boss of the company, but the board of directors did not agree. In 1999, a company called Compaq bought Zip2 for $307 million. Next, Musk started a new company called X.com in 1999. X.com was an online bank where people could send money to each other through email. He used $12 million of the money he made from selling Zip2 to start X.com. Many people, around 200,000 in just the first few months, signed up for the service. Some of Musk's friends didn't like the name X.com because they thought it sounded like a bad website, but Musk didn't change it. He liked the name and thought it was easy to remember. Though Musk started X.com, he wasn't kept as the boss for long. Investors thought he was too new to running a company, so they replaced him with someone else. In 2000, X.com joined forces with another company called Confinity. Confinity had a money transfer service called PayPal, which was very popular. Musk tried being the boss again, but there were problems at the company, and the board replaced him with another leader. Under new leadership, the company focused more on PayPal and even changed the company name to PayPal in 2001. The next year, eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion, and Musk made $176 million from his shares. How Elon Musk made space cool and changed the car game. After that, Musk got interested in space. In 2001, he started thinking about sending a plant to grow on Mars. He even went to Russia to buy rockets, but they were too expensive. So Musk decided to make his own rockets. He used $100 million of his own money to start SpaceX in 2002. He became the boss and chief engineer. SpaceX had a rough start. Their first rocket, called Falcon 1, failed to reach space in 2006, but that same year, National Aeronautics and Space Administration gave them a contract to help supply the International Space Station. After a few more tries, SpaceX successfully launched a rocket into orbit in 2008. National Aeronautics and Space Administration gave them a big contract worth $1.6 billion to help send cargo to the space station after the space shuttle retired. In 2012, SpaceX made history when their Dragon spacecraft became the first commercial vehicle to dock with the space station. SpaceX kept working on making rockets that could be used again and again. In 2015, they successfully landed a rocket on solid ground after launch. Later, they even managed to land rockets on platforms out at sea. SpaceX launched its biggest rocket, Falcon Heavy, in 2018, and Musk even sent his own Tesla car into space on one of these rockets. SpaceX is also working on a new giant rocket called Starship. In 2020, SpaceX became the first private company to send astronauts into space, proving they could do what only governments had done before. Musk also started a project called Starlink. Starlink is a group of satellites that orbit Earth and provide internet access. The first satellites went up in 2018. By 2020, the company had spent $10 billion on the project. Some people complained that the satellites made it hard to see the stars and worried that they could collide with other spacecrafts. But in 2022, Musk sent Starlink terminals to Ukraine to help them stay connected during the war with Russia. He sent about 20,000 terminals for free and kept supporting them even when it cost his company a lot of money. Musk's most famous company might be Tesla. Although Musk didn't start Tesla, he joined early on and became a major part of the company. He invested $6.35 million in Tesla and became the boss in 2008. Tesla makes electric cars. Their first car, the Roadster, was released in 2008, and they have continued to release other models like the Model S, Model X, Model 3, and Model Y. Tesla's cars became very popular, with the Model 3 even becoming the best-selling electric car worldwide. Tesla has also built huge factories called gigafactories where they make cars and batteries. Tesla went public in 2010, meaning people could buy shares of the company on the stock market. The value of Tesla's stock has gone up a lot over the years, making it one of the most valuable car companies in the world. In 2021, Tesla became the sixth company in United States history to reach a value of $1 trillion. Even though Musk sold some of his Tesla stock in 2021, the company continues to grow. He also revealed that Tesla is working on robots and met with India's Prime Minister in 2023 to talk about future projects. Elon Musk's tweet trouble, lawsuits, fines, and big wins. In 2018, Elon Musk got into trouble for a tweet about Tesla. He tweeted that he had the money ready to take Tesla private, meaning it wouldn't be a public company anymore. But the Securities and Exchange International Space Station, a government group that watches over companies, said that Musk's tweet wasn't true. They said it could hurt people who had invested in Tesla. So the Securities and Exchange International Space Station took Musk to court. asking for him to be removed from his job as chief executive officer. 2 days later, Musk and the Securities and Exchange International Space Station made a deal. Musk didn't say the Securities and Exchange International Space Station was right or wrong, but agreed to step down as the chairman of Tesla for 3 years. He and Tesla also had to pay $20 million each in fines. But he got to stay on as Tesla's chief executive officer. Some people who owned Tesla shares sued Musk because of the tweet, but in 2023, a jury said Musk and Tesla didn't do anything wrong. Musk said later that he didn't regret sending the tweet that started all this trouble. Then, in 2019, Musk tweeted that Tesla would build 500,000 cars that year. The Securities and Exchange International Space Station got mad again and asked the court to punish him for breaking the 2018 deal. After talking things out, the Securities and Exchange International Space Station and Musk made a new agreement that said Musk had to get approval for some of his tweets. Later, in 2020, Musk tweeted that he thought Tesla's stock price was too high. People tried to sue him again, saying that tweet broke the rules, but a judge stopped the lawsuit. Musk also helped start a company called Solar City, run by his cousins. Solar City put solar panels on people's houses. By 2013, it became one of the biggest solar panel companies in the country. In 2014, Musk came up with the idea for a huge solar factory in Buffalo, New York, and by 2017, the factory was built. Tesla then bought Solar City in 2016 for $2 billion and combined it with its battery business to form Tesla Energy. But some shareholders didn't like the deal. They thought Musk only did it to help himself and not Tesla. They sued, and in 2020, most of the people involved in the case made a deal. But Musk stayed in the lawsuit. In the end, Musk won the case. Musk's big plans: brain tech, fast tunnels, and Twitter changes. In 2016, Musk also started Neuralink, a company that aims to connect our brains to computers. He put $100 million into this idea. The plan was to make devices that could help people with memory problems or illnesses like Alzheimer's and spinal cord injuries. Musk once showed off a device that could put tiny wires in a brain. In 2020, Musk talked about how this device could one day cure blindness or paralysis, but scientists didn't believe him, saying these ideas were not realistic. Neuralink tested their devices on animals, including monkeys, but some monkeys died during the tests, and people complained that the animals were being mistreated. This led to a federal investigation into how Neuralink was treating its animals. By 2023, the Food and Drug Administration gave Neuralink permission to test on humans. Another company Musk started is The Boring Company. In 2017, he began digging tunnels to help solve traffic problems in busy cities. He planned to make special cars travel really fast underground. His first test tunnel opened in Los Angeles in 2018, but it wasn't perfect. Some projects Musk planned, like tunnels in Chicago and Los Angeles, didn't work out, but a tunnel in Las Vegas was finished in 2021. Now, local leaders want to expand this tunnel system even more. In 2022, Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion. He had been interested in buying it since 2017, believing that Twitter wasn't allowing people to speak freely. After buying Twitter, he became its chief executive officer and fired many top workers. Musk also started charging people for a special blue checkmark next to their names. He let people post more freely, which led to more hate speech. Some people think this decision caused problems. By the end of 2022, Musk agreed to step down as chief executive officer of Twitter after people voted on it in a poll. He stayed involved as the company's leader in other ways. Musk's style as a boss is tough. He pays attention to even the smallest details, and sometimes demands a lot from his workers, like making them work very long hours. Some people praise him because his hard work has made companies like Tesla and SpaceX successful. Others think he's too harsh and doesn't care enough about his workers' feelings. SpaceX's big rocket dream: how Falcon 9 took flight and saved millions. In October 2005, SpaceX told everyone about a new rocket they were working on called Falcon 9. They wanted to launch it in 2007, but the first launch didn't happen until 2010. Before Falcon 9, SpaceX had built a smaller rocket called Falcon 1. They used their own money to make it and didn't have any customers lined up to use it. But with Falcon 9, things were different. SpaceX still used their own money to build it, but this time National Aeronautics and Space Administration agreed to buy some rocket flights from them once SpaceX showed that Falcon 9 could do what it was supposed to. National Aeronautics and Space Administration even helped pay for certain milestones through a program called Commercial Orbital Transportation Services in 2006. NASA and SpaceX made a special contract to work together. NASA wanted SpaceX to create a rocket that could go to space and carry cargo to the International Space Station. For this, NASA gave SpaceX $278 million for 3 test flights of Falcon 9 with a Dragon spacecraft. Later, more money was added to the contract, bringing it up to $396 million. In 2008, SpaceX got another big job from NASA. This time, they were hired to take cargo to the International Space Station using Falcon 9 and the Dragon spacecraft. NASA said they would only pay once the test flights were fully successful. SpaceX ended up with a $1.6 billion contract to make at least 12 flights to deliver supplies to the International Space Station. By 2011, SpaceX said they had spent around $300 million to develop Falcon 9. National Aeronautics and Space Administration believed that if they had used their old way of doing things, it could have cost them about $3.6 billion to build the same rocket. NASA later said that even if they had taken a cheaper route, it still would have cost them $1.6 billion to build something like Falcon 9. This showed how much SpaceX was saving everyone by building rockets in a different, more efficient way. In 2014, SpaceX shared the total costs of making Falcon 9 and Dragon. National Aeronautics and Space Administration had put in $396 million, but SpaceX spent over $450 million of their own money. During a hearing in 2017, SpaceX said that because NASA gave them the freedom to figure out the details on their own, they were able to build rockets much cheaper than usual. NASA checked the numbers and found that SpaceX had spent about $390 million in total to develop Falcon 1 and Falcon 9. When SpaceX first started making rockets, they planned on building something called Falcon 5, which would have been smaller than Falcon 9. But in 2005, they changed their minds and decided to go straight to building Falcon 9. This new rocket could carry a lot of weight to space, up to 9,500 kilograms. SpaceX also had a bigger version of Falcon 9 in mind that could carry up to 25,000 kilograms. Falcon 9 was designed to help with a lot of different International Space Stationians, including going to the International Space Station with cargo or crew. From delays to record-breaking success. NASA and SpaceX originally planned for the first test flight of Falcon 9 to happen in 2008. However, the schedule got pushed back, and the first launch happened in 2010. There were some delays because the rocket was very complicated, and getting Perm International Space Station from Cape Canaveral was tricky. But SpaceX kept testing the engines, and in 2008 they completed a big test where all 9 engines fired successfully. More tests happened over the next 2 years until Falcon 9 was finally ready for its first flight. SpaceX's factory has been very busy. In December 2010, they were building a Falcon 9 rocket every 3 months. By 2013, the factory space had grown to about 100,000 square feet, so they could make more rockets. By November of that year, they were producing 1 Falcon 9 each month. By 2016, they were building 18 rockets a year. One of the coolest things SpaceX does is reuse its rockets. Instead of throwing them away after one launch, they bring the rockets back, fix them up, and launch them again. In 2023, SpaceX did 91 Falcon 9 launches, and only 4 of those rockets were brand new. The others had been reused, which saved a lot of time and money. By 2023, SpaceX set a new record with 96 Falcon 9 launches in a single year, all of them successful. The different versions of Falcon 9 rockets have been launched 376 times over 14 years. Most of these launches went perfectly. There were 2 failures and 1 partial success, but the rest went off without a hitch. SpaceX even has a stronger rocket called Falcon Heavy, which is made from 3 Falcon 9 rockets strapped together. Falcon Heavy is used for even bigger International Space Stationians. Thanks to SpaceX's great work, they've been able to land their rockets 96.9% of the time. This has helped them save on making new rockets, and they're planning to make the rockets last even longer, up to 40 flights for each one. Meet the X-1, the jet. So fast. It's almost an unidentified flying object. Now let us tell you about talk of the town unidentified flying object X-1. SpaceX has recently introduced a new fighter jet called the X-1. This jet is so fast and so advanced that when people first saw it, they thought it was an unidentified flying object. This news is causing a lot of excitement and concern around the world. It could change not just how wars are fought, but also how we explore space. The X-1 took years of Securities and Exchange International Space Stationian work to build. It can fly at hypersonic speeds, up to 4,600 miles per hour. That's more than twice as fast as a famous plane called the SR-71 Blackbird. How does the X-1 fly so fast? It uses a special engine that's usually only found in space shuttles. This engine has never been used in a fighter jet before, so it's a big leap forward for technology. One of the coolest things about the X-1 is its ability to hide in the sky. It can blend in with clouds, making it almost invisible. This camouflage is so good that even the Pentagon, where the United States military plans its actions, was confused. They sent jets to chase what they thought was an unidentified flying object. This feature makes the X-1 really useful for Securities and Exchange International Space Station. The X-1 also doesn't use as much fuel as other planes. It's 30% more fuel efficient, meaning it can fly longer without stopping to refuel. Normally, military jets need to land and refuel during long flights, but the X-1 can do the whole trip in one go. This makes it even more valuable for long-distance travel. Another amazing feature of the X-1 is its weapons. It doesn't just shoot bullets or missiles. Instead, it uses microwaves. This can melt enemy planes or mess up their electronics from far away. It can even make enemy soldiers feel like they're burning, without hurting them permanently. This way, the X-1 could force enemies to leave their posts without needing to hurt anyone. This new way of fighting could change battles by making them less deadly. The X-1 can also fly higher than almost any other plane, up to 105,000 feet. For comparison, most commercial planes fly around 35,000 feet, and even regular fighter jets stay below 50,000 feet. The SR-71 Blackbird, which used to be one of the highest flying planes, topped out at 85,000 feet. Being able to fly so high gives the X-1 a huge advantage because it can see things from far away and stay out of reach of most weapons. This high altitude is also useful for things like studying weather and climate, and even for future space tourism. But not everyone is happy about the X-1. There are reports that Elon Musk and the United States military aren't agreeing on who should control this powerful jet. While Musk thinks the zone could be a game changer for national security, and some military leaders are being more careful, they're worried about what this kind of technology could mean for future conflicts and how much control private companies should have over such powerful tools. When you compare the X-1 to today's top fighter jets, like the F-35 or F-22, the differences are clear. The F-35 can reach speeds of about 1,200 miles per hour, while the F-22 is a bit faster. But neither comes close to the X-1's 4,600 miles per hour. This means the X-1 could finish its round and return to base before these other jets even get close to their target. Plus, the X-1 wouldn't need to stop for fuel, making it even more efficient. The X-1 isn't just about war, though. Its advanced technology could also be used for things like faster air travel or even new ways to communicate and use energy. The microwave weapons, for example, might one day help with things like transmitting electricity or treating illnesses. As more people learn about the X-1, it's starting big conversations about what this technology means for the future. Some believe that having something so advanced could actually prevent wars, since no one would want to mess with a country that has such powerful tools. Others worry that it might start a new race, where countries try to outdo each other in making even more dangerous weapons. The X-1 is changing the world of flying. It's faster, smarter, and more powerful than anything we've seen before. As we look to the future, people are going to keep talking about what the X1 means for both the military and everyday life. One thing is certain, this jet is a big deal, and it's only the beginning of what could come next in aerospace technology. We hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.